Hello, welcome to the first video of SQL, and this is going to be the basic about SQL, and this whole series is going to be the practical based series. I will just discuss the theory that uh, basic definitions which you need to understand. Rest, it is going to be the whole practical so that you could get the idea what is going on really. And here in this video, I want to discuss about the basic thing about the SQL and all related things which is needed to understand. Okay, so firstly, for example, if you are having the data in form of table, okay, I hope you know like the table, what is the table? Okay, so you would have the table something like this, you would have the rows over there. So you would have the rows. Let me put one more rows. Okay, so something like this, you would have rows over there, and you would have the columns. Okay, so the some combination of rows and column is we call the table. I hope you understand. Okay, so you would have rows and column, and we name it like a, let's say, student. Okay, so this is my students table. Okay, so what we will do, we want to store this data inside the table. I would have the data somewhere over here. Let's say the name of the student, it might be like Rohan, huh? And let's say like this is the column for the marks 45. This is the, let's say, the column for the attendance. Let's say 90% attendance, huh? For example, this is the column for the name, as we had already said, you know, Mohit. Okay. Then you are having the marks, let's say 34, the attendance, let's say 78%. So we would have the name of the column. So like this is the name column, the header you will indicate. Then you're having this is the marks. Then this is the, attendance. Okay. I can say attendance. Okay. Something like this. Now, the point is to make this table is that I want to store this data somewhere. Okay. So what I will do, I would have one database. Okay. I would have one database. I will store this table inside this database. Okay. So I would store this table inside this database. We call it as a, we call it as the database. Hmm. Now the thing is where is SQL will perform its role. So SQL is nothing but which is the SQL. It is a structured query language. Okay. So when you are having this table with the name of students inside this database, students, hmm, inside this database, so you will access this table. You want to access this table. Sir, why you want to access this table? You want to access this table because you want to do some manipulation on the table. Let's say you want to change the name of the, one particular student. You want to change the marks of one particular student. You want to change the attendance of one particular student. Okay. Maybe you want to delete one record. Maybe you want to delete the record of Mohit. Record is nothing but the rows I am talking about. Huh? You want to delete this record. Okay. Maybe you want to delete one particular column. Let's say you want to delete the column of attendance. Okay. So you want to perform some sort of manipulation on that table, which is stored inside the database. Okay. That is why we use the SQL. Sir, what is the database? Database is nothing but the organized collection of data. Organized collection of data. So database, we refer is database. Database. It is organized collection of data, and data we are having in form of tables. Data we are having in form of tables. And one more thing I want to talk about is that whenever you see the table data inside the table, so we call it as a relational data. Relational data. Okay. And this is the data where we are storing your relational data, which is the data in form of table. We call it as a relational database. So this is my relational database. Relational database. Hmm. So this is what I'm interested in. Okay, this is what I'm interested in. Now, sir, where is SQL? SQL you will perform. to query the language, to query the data. You are to manipulate the data. So here you would have the SQL. Here you would have the SQL. Okay. Okay, sir, I have been understood. Here we are having the SQL, and what we will do, we want to perform some query. We want to manipulate the data of table. We want to change the data of table. We want to delete the data from the table which is stored inside the database. We will use the SQL. Yes, sir. This is what the whole thing about the SQL. Okay, this is what where you will use the SQL. Let me bring it over here. Okay, now, so whatever you are doing, okay. So you need something so that you could write this language. SQL is one of the language, okay, which you will use, to query the data, which is inside the table, and to create the database, to interact with database. I need something because I cannot pass the instruction to the machine. Okay, even if I know the SQL, but there must be something so that I could interact with the machine. Hmm? So we call it that software. We use one software. We call it DBMS, which is database management system. Okay, we call it database management system. So whatever you are doing so far, whatever you are doing so far, you will you will perform all these operation. You will perform all these operation using the database management system, which is the software. And in this series, we will use the database management system, which is going to be MySQL. Okay, MySQL, we are going to use the as a database management system for this series. Okay, I hope you have been got the idea what is going on. Okay, even if you not understood, just comment it what you had not understood. I will make sure key you will understand it easily. Okay, now come to the workbench. This is my MySQL workbench. Okay, here you will write the query, and you will do the manipulation. Okay, sir. To write the query, what we need actually in SQL, you would have the commands. Okay, so one more thing I want to disclose is that you would have the commands over here. Commands. Okay, so commands is nothing but the instruction which SQL understand. Okay, which SQL understand, those are the instruction. What are the different types of commands we are having in SQL? In SQL, we are having DDL command, we are having DML command, we are having DML command, and we are having DQL command, and then we are having DCL command, and we are having TCL command. Okay, so like actually this is TCL, and yep, these are the commands which we are having. Okay, so first let's discuss about the DDL. DDL. So whenever you talk about the DDL, inside the DDL you are having the commands of actually we call it data definition language. Data definition language. Okay, and inside this you would have some commands like here you are having command create, alter, drop, truncate, okay, and rename. Okay, so these are the command which you are having inside the DDL. Okay, now another is DML. Another is DML, which we call data manipulation language. How we will use them, we will learn it for sure. Okay, so just you note down like what is going on. Okay, so in DML you are having the command like insert. Okay, you are having command like insert. You are having command like update. You are having command like delete. Okay, so these are the command of DML. Now come to the another one, which is nothing but the DQL. Inside the DQL, which is the data query language, you are having only one command, which is the select. Select is only command inside the DQL. Then you are having DCL, which is the data control language. Data, which is DCL, data control language. Okay. So inside this actually DCL, you are having the commands like grant. Sorry, medium. You are having command like grant and revoke. Okay. Then DCL, then you are having TCL, which is transaction query language. TCL, transaction query language. And inside this transaction query language, you are having command like commit and rollback. Okay. So these are the commands which we are going to use throughout the series and in SQL. So this command is nothing but the instruction which SQL understand. Okay. For example, the create. When you are saying that create table, okay, you will use this create command. Then SQL can easily understand, okay, you are trying to create something. Okay. So this is the whole, idea and the basic of the SQL, which we are supposed to start now. Come to the practical part. I want to show you that first thing first that we are storing the as I already mentioned that we are storing the table inside the database. So before the table, I need to create the database. So to create the database, I will use the DBMS, which is the software which you can see on my screen. Okay. So sir, how to create the database? To create the database, you will write the command create database, create database, and the name of the database. Let's say students. Okay. So this is how you will create the database. Now just select this whole line and you can run this. You can see this green icon. It means the database is created. Create database command is run. Now just go to the side panel. Okay, there you would have administration and the schema. Come to schema section. Then refresh it. You will get the database, which is the students database. Okay. So you are having two database. One is SYS, another is students. Okay. So this is how you will create the database. Now you want to check how many database I am having in my system right now. These are the database. Some we are having hidden database, which is the system database, which we are not going to interrupt. But to show the database, you will run the command show databases. Databases. Okay. If I run this command, if I select this line and if I run this, just see this. Information schema, MySQL performance schema, S by S, the database which you can see, and the students. These students database which we had created, S by S is inbuilt database. Rest we are having the hidden databases. Okay. This is how we can check the database. Okay. We are having over here. Okay. So this was the command to create the database. Now you had created the database and you if you want to delete this database or how to delete first, let's talk about the delete. Okay, so to delete this database you will write the command drop database students. Okay, the name of the database, so which the database right now you created and now you are dropping it. Now select this command again. Now run this from here, from this icon. Okay, now this is this. If you could see on the side panel, you are not having SS database. Okay, even if you run this so databases command, you will not get the student because the database which you had dropped it. Okay, so I should mention that this is how you write the comment. Comment is something. If you run this line, it is not going to impact. So I can use this as an indication so that you could understood like how things are going on. So now you will this is the command and I want to write as a comment that you will use this command to create database. Okay, to create the database. So this is the line. If you run this line, it will not put any impact. It means it is just the comment. Okay. So instead of the students, you can put any name. For example, employees is one of the name university as a database name. You can put anything. Okay. And this is the command to check the use this command to show databases. Okay. So this is what, and command to delete database. Okay, sir. We had seen how to create the database. We had seen how to show the databases, but how to create tables. But to create the table, you need the database. So I will run this command again. Because I want to create the database again. Okay. So if you refresh it, you will get the database over here. The database again created. If you run this command again it is going to drop it, but I am not going to drop it. Okay. So how to create the table, sir? In table, as I already mentioned that if you could see that in tables you are having the columns. Huh? So there is a structure to there's a query structure which you need to write to create the table. What is that, sir? It is you will use the command which is the create command, and create command comes under the DDL. DDL, data definition language. Okay, create command. You are using this create command. Now, create command and the table you want to create. As you were creating the database, you are saying database. Now you are creating the table, you are saying the table. Now the name of the table, let's say children is one of the table you want to create, which is inside the students database. Okay, you will use the parenthesis and. Now this table will have the column, for example, name, marks, and attendance. Okay. So for what I will do, I will put the name of the column. That is going to be the name, or I can say student name. Make sure when you're writing the name, you should not have the space between it. You can use the underscore, it will work, but space should not be there. And student name. And now you need to assign the type of data which you will insert inside the column. It means that if you could see, we are having that name. Inside the name, you are having Rohan Mohit. So what is this? This is the string type of data. Okay, this is the string. This is the text data you are having. So you need to specify that with the column name which you are assigning. For example, over here you are saying student name. Which type of data this column will contain? Here, if you could see in this table, it is showing you the text type of data. Huh? So you will say the varchar. Varchar is the type of data, varchar 40. Okay. Varchar 40 is the type of data which you will store. Varchar, sir, what is varchar 40? Varchar 40 is the character data. Okay. Which is 40 is the length. So if you are having the name, okay, that name could have the maximum length, maximum number of character, 40 characters. Okay. So you can say 100, you can assign the 100. So now name will have the 100 characters. Okay. It till 100 you can, if it is, going beyond 100, it will not store. If it is coming under 100, so it will store. For example, if you are having, you are saying 40. So if it is the name of 10 character, it will store easily. If it is going beyond 40, it will not store. Okay. It will throw the error. So the first column we had created with the student name. Okay. Now, next column, marks. The marks, the data inside the marks, you are having the integer type. Okay, so here you will say the data, it will store int. Okay, int is the type of data which is the integer. It is the indication of the integer. Okay. Now next you are having the percentage, not percentage, attendance. Okay. So for the attendance, let's say I will say this is also going to be the float type of data. Float is what the where you are having the value in points. Okay. Now just see this. Okay. Now just look at it. This is how you will create. So you had created the three columns inside it. You are specifying the data type of each column, where that column will store the type of data. Then integer value. Okay. Then the. I hope you have been understood. This is what about the creation of table. Select this whole command and run this. Okay. So no database selected. Select the database. Okay. So sir, we had created the database. Okay. We are having two database. So firstly, we need to select the database where you want to create the table. This is right actually. To do this, to select the database, select the database. To select the database, you will use the command with the name use only. Use the name of the database, which is students. Okay. So if you run this command, use students, now you will see the students table database is going to be highlighted. Just see this. It is the font is going to be bold. Huh? So it means now you are using the students database. If you create the table, this table is going to store inside the student. Table has been created. Just see this, the last command. Okay. Now, if I could expand this database, now if I could refresh it again, okay. So you will get the drop down beside the tables. Now just see this. You are having children table. The name is children. We had assigned inside children. You are having the columns. What are the index and foreign key? We will discuss it later. But okay. Student name is one of the column. If you could see, marks is one of the column. If you could see, attendance is one of the column. Okay. So this is how we will create the table. Okay. We are having this table inside the student. Now you want to see that the data inside the table. To check the data inside the table, we had not stored anything right now, but still I want to check. You will use the select command. Select star from the name of the table, children. Okay. So if I run this, this is the table. Now, if you could see, there is nothing because we had not stored anything. But I want to tell you that the select command we are using, which comes under the DQL, just see this, which comes under the DQL, data query language, the only one command. Okay, DQL select command. Now, what is star, sir? Star is nothing but star says if you are specifying the any name of table, it means that you are saying using star, I want to access all the column. I didn't understand, sir. For example, you are saying student name. You are selecting the column with the name student name from the children table. Student name is one of the column. Now, if you run this command, just see this. Okay. If you want to store, if you want to access marks, so you will just put the command, you will say marks, 2 columns. You're specifying the number of column. But if you put the star, it means you are saying, I want to select all the column. I want to select all the column. Sorry. Okay. I want to select all the column. Just see this. Now, this is how I can select all the column. Okay. So this was about the checking the data, creating the table. Okay. So create table. You can create n number of column. You can create, you can put any name over here as a table name. Okay. Now, multiple column, you can create different data types we are having. We will discuss them later. Okay. Now you had created the table, you had created the data, you had deleted the databases. Huh? Now you want to delete the table. To delete the drop table, same as we were doing the drop database, same we were doing the drop table, the name of the table, which is the student. Okay. Now, if I run this, just look at it. Table has been dropped. Now just see this. If you refresh it, there you will not get any drop down over here. So there is no table student. Now, if I run this command to select the table, it will give me error. See this. What is that error? Copy it. Copy this response. Okay, I would copy this response. Just say this. Students inside the student database, children, the name of the children does not exist. It means the table inside the student database does not exist. It means there is no to delete table. Okay, so you will use this command. I hope you've been understood the basic of creating table and creating databases, deleting databases, and deleting the table. Okay, if you are having any doubt regarding it, just ask me in comment. I will resolve your doubt. And if there would be any need to create the video, I will create the video as well. And I hope you like the content. Okay, whatever I taught you in this video. uh this was it for this video. We will meet in next video. Thank you for watching.